all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. If I could use for a title, when the tables are turned in your favor. When the table is turned in your favor. I heard the song that they were singing, that late in the midnight hour, that God's going to turn it around. So when the tables are turned in your favor. As I began to study this text, I was sharing with Pastor Stevenson in the office. I said, Roy, when is you and your wife's anniversary, what do you look for in a greeting card or in a card? And he said, I will go to the card area in the store. I just want to, for a few minutes, just imagine that somebody's special to you. And something was coming up, whether it's a birthday or an anniversary or just something that you just wanted to just go get just thinking about you card. And I will make my way into the store, and they have each section kind of labeled out. And boy, as I go down there, I see the just thinking about you. I see because I love you, or I see the happy anniversary card. And you know once you get in that area that I'm about in the right place. And so the next thing you begin to do is you begin to open up the card and begin to see if it's saying what you needed to say. And so I said, Lord, do you read the card? He said, yes, I read the card because I need the card to say something specific for me. And so here in Psalms 23, it's like David has made a card for the Lord. And David starts off, and you got to remember that David is a shepherd himself. And so David says that the Lord is my shepherd. And so I told Roy, for David to say that the Lord is my shepherd, the first thing David is acknowledging is that there are other shepherds around. Yeah. So here I am. I'm over in Walmart, or if you get your car from Hallmark, you have an area, and it may say, to my wife. Yeah. And see, I can't send Brother Khaki to get nothing special for my wife because he don't know what I want to say to my wife. And so when I found out that it takes some time to pick out a card. And so everybody else is in the hustle and bustle, and you're watching people run. Some people just say, "We the cards," and they just grab a card and go. And so I'm sitting and wondering, how in the world could they be that special to you and you didn't take no time to read the card? So David says, the Lord is my shepherd. And I found out that a shepherd is a sheep farmer. And then he says that I shall not want. So the first thing David does is he tells us that because the Lord is my shepherd, he provides for me into a place that I don't want for nothing. Yeah. So we need to know that a real shepherd will provide for you. Not only will he provide for you, it says that he maketh me to lie down. And so when I got to that part, Pastor Khaki, I thought about the word make. There comes some times that when the Lord has to forcefully make us do some stuff. Now, if we just quote it real fast, we won't think about all the times when we've done what we want. But there comes a period of time when the Lord has to make us be still. Yeah. Say, he making me to lie down in green pastures. And so that means that the Lord has, as David is walking, he has took his time and he's found a place that you need to be still in. And so Pastor Khaki, as I was looking at it, one theologian said This psalm was like a year David looked back and seen some of the things that transpired in his life. And as you see the psalm, you see him gradually, he starts off talking about God's provision. Then he starts talking about God's authority. And he said, he maketh me to lie down in green pastures, and he leadeth me beside still waters. Yeah. I need him to lead me in some places where there's going to be some peace at. And as I was looking at it, it said that the Lord had to lead David into some places where the water was still because so much trouble was chasing David. Lord have mercy. Yeah. And so here is David, and over this period of time, David had trouble in the house and trouble outside the house. And now he's on the run. He just needs some water. And so the Lord has to lead David into a place where he can sit down and drink. Has it ever been a point of time or a point in your life where it looks like I just can't be still here because I don't trust them, I don't trust the situation, I don't trust what's going on, and I'm so eager? So the Lord has got David to a place of still waters. And that's the place where peace that surpasses all understanding. How in the world can I have trouble all around me and I can have peace to take a drink? Yes. And see, our problem is when we're quoting this, we're thinking about the natural water fountain. But David didn't have natural water fountain. David was out in the woods, and he had to watch what he was drinking. He had to watch where he was drinking, because if he just bent down anywhere, trouble could have got him. But because the Lord is his shepherd, he's trusting the Lord is leading him to a place of peaceful drinking. And so he says he leads me beside the still waters, and he restoreth my soul. Have you ever just been tired? Lord have mercy. Have you ever just been to a place where it looks like this is my lot? Lord have mercy. Yeah. Miss Pam, it's like I've been going through hell on the left, I've been going hell on the right, I've been going through hell every area of my life. And David says that I've gotten tired now, so I need the Lord to restore. I need the Lord to put me back together again. He said he restored my soul, and he leaded me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. So the way the Lord is leading me now may not be the route that I would think actually of, but he's leading me in a place that his name is going to be glorified. Yeah. I'm going to get you somewhere in a minute. He said, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. It says that around this time, David was on the run from Absalom. And y'all might not know Absalom, but Absalom happened to be one of David's seed. And Absalom was trying to raise himself up, and he was trying to kill his own daddy. Yeah. So here David finds himself in a cave, in a valley, running from his own son. And David says, as he looks back, he says, I walked through, oh, that mercy, the valley of the shadow of death. Now, I'm just trying to look back, because David is looking back and saying, I remember when I was walking through a low place. You know it got to be low when your family and friends are out to get you. So David says, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I feel no evil. And the reason I don't feel no evil is because that the Lord is with me. Yeah. So David is saying, come, no matter what I'm facing, I'm not going to fear evil because I got confidence that my shepherd is walking with me. And then he begins to talk about his rod and his staff. And so as I began to study this up, a person asked me a question. They said, I thought that the rod and the staff were both just one. But we found out that the rod and the staff are different. This is what a shepherd does. A shepherd, when they are being trained to be a sheep boy, Pastor Kaki, one of the first things they do, they go out and get themselves a rod. The one that will fit, Lord have mercy, their own hand. Or one that they can carry. See, it would be crazy for you to try to pick up what I pick up. And see, that's what I found out in going to the gym. Just because somebody else is carrying a lot of weight, don't mean I need to go and try to carry that same weight. You got to learn to work up to that. And so the shepherd will go, the sheep boy will go out there and get him a stick. And it's called a rod. And what he will do next, he will begin to practice, Lord have mercy, throwing his rod. He began practice learning how to use it. He will pick him up some targets, Miss Pam, because he needs to know that if there's a predator over there, I need to be able to hit it. So he needs to learn how to work accurately in the wilderness. And so after he learns how to use his rod, he has something called a staff. And this is what the staff is. The staff comes after you've been a long day out in the wood, and now that you're tired, you need, good God, you need something to lean on. Lord have mercy. And see, our problem is we don't really want to be a staff. We want to be the rod, though, but sometimes people just need you to let you lean on. And so what the staff is used for, the staff is used for when you catch an individual sheep. Lord have mercy. So sometimes, Lord, I might can't catch who you can catch, so that's how you got to learn how to use your staff. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So a shepherd would walk out with two tools. And as he's out there, now, there's a few things I need to tell you about sheep. They're very fickle. They're very vulnerable. And even in them being scary and vulnerable, they also stubborn. And they also sometimes, Sister Donna, they let their eyes get them in trouble. See, they see green grass. You know how they say, just because the grass look green on the other side don't mean. And so sometimes the shepherd have led them to a place of green pasture, and they see some grass across the gate. They would take a chance and go across there. And so he has to use his rod to poke them back into place because there's danger on the other side. And so I was looking at that, the Lord began to show me that this is how the shepherd would use his rod. In a sheepfold, there are more than one shepherd. Yeah. I'm trying to get you in the woods. Now, I'm not talking about in the church now. And what they would do, they will go out there and they would call, Lord have mercy, their sheep. And their sheep should know their voice because they spent some time, Lord have mercy, walking together through this thing. And what a shepherd would do, he will stand to the gate. We're going to use this for a gate, or he will stand to the door. And what he will do, every now and then, he will open it and let the sheep go in. And he'll let them go in. You know how some Sundays y'all be wondering, the pastor didn't shake my hand, the pastor didn't say something. But then one Sunday he'll stop and he'll stick his hand out there. And what a shepherd would do, he would stick his rod out there just to stop him so he can close examine him. Lord have mercy. It's not just to count him, but sometimes he needs to examine him. See, because they have so much wool that, Lord have mercy, they have so much wool that sometimes the shepherd can't see what you're passing in and out, that you might be wounded up under the wool. So he sticks his rod out now and stops you, and you're wondering, why is he bothering me? What he's going to do now is he want to move over some of the wool and check if you've been infected, check if you picked up some disease, check if you've been wounded, and I ain't see you get wounded. So what he does now,